Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the Rideshare Hub. My name's Dylan, and thank you so much for coming by. I really do appreciate it. My name is Dylan, and I am a driver for both Uber and for Lyft, and I also am a passenger for Uber and Lyft as well. So in this video, I'm going to be breaking down just what Uber released. They released their 2017 and 2018 data on sexual assaults. So this is a very serious video, nothing to take lightly at all. If at any time throughout this video you feel like you need help, please seek help at the proper ways to get help. So basically what happened, again, this is not gonna be a joking video. I know usually I do like to joke around a lot, but in this video, no. In the past 2 years, Uber decided, Uber decided to release some public information to what has gone inside, what has been reported inside both Uber and Lyft cars. And essentially what has happened is that there has been nearly 6,000 reported sexual assaults. So that have occurred inside of cars, Uber rides, excuse me. From both, and now this is from both passengers as well as both drivers. So this is not just drivers, sexually assaulting passengers. There's also passengers sexually assaulting drivers. So this is not to blame either. Well, it's blaming both parties. But I do believe that these statistics are very alarming. But at the same time, I don't want to say let's not take this lightly, but I believe the statistic is 1 in 5 million rides there is a reported sexual assault. So you can see that because Uber is so popular and really has become much more popular than taxi services, is that these things just occur more because of the increase in rides occurring, you know what I mean? So the statistics for them to happen are just increasing. So I'm gonna go over that. And then also I did wanna share a video with you guys that I think you guys would also really enjoy. So I'm just gonna sync up my computer so you guys can follow along with me, because the Uber chief, his name's Tony West. He's Uber's chief legal officer, and he responded to this in an interview, and I did want to share it with you guys. Shout out to my mom who actually sent me this video. She's basically my research assistant at this point. All right, so here we go. I'm gonna play the video of the interview with Uber's chief legal officer, Tony West.
The company is going public here tonight with what it calls a comprehensive report addressing those concerns and vowing.
This was on NBC TV.
Uber upended how we get from point A to point B, but as the rideshare company has grown, so too have accounts like this.
I was basically taken for 2.5 hours in an Uber car. With the next day I had defensive wounds. I told my mom and my sister, and they were just like, no, that's sexual assault.
Tonight, for the first time, Uber is publicly releasing its own data on sexual assaults. Over the course of 2017 and 2018, the company received nearly 6,000 reports of incidents during or after Uber rides, ranging...
That is a lot. 5,981 reports. Just reported. And you guys know that, well, maybe you don't, but most sexual assaults do never get reported.
Groping to rape. Roughly 4 reported rapes every week. 1 in every 5 million rides.
Exactly, there we go. 1 in 5 million rides. So, I mean, that's reported, so it's definitely higher. There's definitely a lot that do not get reported, but at the same time, 1 in 5 million rides isn't that much when you put it in the grand scheme of things. But here is, excuse me, this is Tony West. He's Uber's chief legal officer. So let's hear what he has to say about it all. Sorry. All right, let's hear it.
5 million rides.
That's
record number, but I'm not surprised. And I'm not surprised because sexual violence is just much more pervasive in society than I think most people realize.
Tony West is Uber's chief legal officer, spearheading the study.
So he's basically saying that, well, it's not Uber's fault. There's just a lot of sexual crimes occurring in general in society. So that's why that number is so large.
Together with input from sexual violence advocates.
I was surprised to read that about half of the victims are riders and the other half are drivers.
That's right.
Wow, I actually didn't know it was half. It was half and half. That's pretty crazy. So, wow, I didn't realize that. But okay, let's keep listening.
And so this is not just a one-sided problem. We have to keep in mind that both drivers and riders are victims.
According to the study, Uber is aware of law enforcement's involvement in 37% of the reported rape cases.
That number seems kind of low to me. Just 37%?
I'll tell you, one of the facts about sexual assault is that it is a very underreported offense.
For me. Just
In 37% of the reported rape cases.
that number seems...
We have to keep in mind that both drivers and riders are victims.
According to the study, Uber is aware of law enforcement's involvement in 37% of the reported rape cases.
That number seems kind of low to me. Just 37%?
I'll tell you, one of the facts about sexual assault is that it is a very underreported offense.
Yeah.
We shouldn't make that choice for survivors. Survivors should make that choice for themselves.
It also opens up the possibility that...
So I assume what he is saying, don't quote me on this is my opinion, but he's essentially saying that Uber, just because somebody reports a crime to Uber, doesn't mean Uber will report that crime or that sexual assault to the police. That's what it sounds like they're saying. I could be wrong, but let's keep listening.
Uber is aware of someone who potentially raped someone else who's out in the public without involving law enforcement.
As someone who is a former law enforcement official, I understand the tension. We have lots of information about an incident that we will share with law enforcement if we get the consent of the victim.
So it sounds like they need the consent of the victim in order to share any information. So for me, that's pretty shocking, because if a victim is reporting the incident to Uber, to the company, I don't know. This is definitely treacherous waters. I do want to hear your guys' thoughts.
The study reveals that more than 40,000 drivers were banned in the U.S. in the last 2 years as part of continuous background checks for a variety of reasons, including...
Is it time for riders to start getting background checked before signing up? Drivers have to.
Misconduct. Uber announcing tonight they plan to share those names with other rideshare companies.
What do you hope to show with these numbers over the years?
We hope to see and hope to learn a number of things. I think first, we want to raise awareness. The other thing we want to show is that we're developing best practices.
Among new safety features, Uber is adding the ability to text 911 from the app.
Oh wow, you can actually text 911 now? That's actually pretty interesting, because I've always thought it was such a outdated thing to do, to call 911, because what if you're in a situation where you don't want somebody to hear you calling 911? So that's actually pretty interesting.
PIN codes for rides and on-trip reporting.
Were there ever any internal conversations where people said, this could hurt our business, these numbers?
Sure there were. It was hard, but it's important for us to push through that discomfort and to talk about these issues. And Uber couldn't simply ignore what was happening on its platform. And
this guy, by the way, is so well spoken. Like he answers questions in such a good way.
We have to then address it.
Stephanie, I know this study addresses issues beyond sexual assault safety. What else did it look at?
Uber looks at fatalities as well, Lester. They found 107 deaths because of crashes over this 2-year period, according to their own comparison. They also tell us that they're going to do a study just like this every 2 years to compare the data.
Stephanie,
honestly, I do have to say that I do applaud Uber for going public with the data. They didn't have to do that. you know, it sounds like they want to try to get people aware of this, what's going on, in order to lower it. That's just my opinion. I don't know why else they would release the information, but there you guys have it, guys. There is, again, almost 6,000, 3,000 last year, and then almost 3,000 the year before in 2017. So we will be interested in 2020. Well, at the end of 2020, maybe in about a year or two. Yeah, probably in about a year, we'll have the information on the next 2 years, on 2019 and 2020. So it'll be at the end of 2020 is when the new one will come out. But anyways, guys, there you have it. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I'm going to stop my computer here from syncing, but I do really appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts down below. This is pretty alarming, but I did want to share this with you and get your thoughts and feedback. So in my opinion, I mean, yeah, it's horrible, but at the same time, 1 in 5 million. So if you're afraid to get into a car with a stranger, I don't blame you. This stuff is real. You know, this is stuff going on, and you should be cautious about these things. You know, if you're a driver, do not flirt with your passengers. Do not go home with your passengers. Do not get your passengers' phone numbers unless it's a business thing. But, you know, especially if your passengers are drunk, these are where sexual rapes occur, is when passengers are intoxicated, drivers are, you know, sober for driving purposes, and the intoxicated passengers want to go home with the driver because, you know, emotions are high when you're intoxicated, and when you're intoxicated, you cannot give proper consent. So if you go home with with a drunk passenger, now you're, you know, doing something with them without their consent, because they cannot give proper consent while being drunk. That's how it works. Yeah, again, and a lot of riders are doing the same thing to drivers too. So it's both ways. It goes both ways. Nobody's safe. At the end of the day, I could walk outside, you know, and something horrible could happen, or I could get into an Uber and something horrible can happen. So I'm not saying, I don't think that Uber is intrinsically dangerous, but it is something to look out for. So there are my thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. I'll talk to y'all soon. Stay safe out there. Bring protection if you need it. Yeah, it's better to be safe than sorry. All right, bye guys.